Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner and welcome to my review of West Side Story 2021. This is a recent remake of the 1961 classic musical directed by the one and only Steven Spielberg. Set in 1957 New York, it focuses on a forbidden romance between Tony and Maria and the rivalry gangs between the Jets and the Sharks with different ethnic backgrounds. It is a huge understatement to say that Spielberg is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, if not the greatest filmmaker of all time. So many classic movies in his filmography, from Jaws, the Indiana Jones trilogy, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., Jurassic Park, the movies that won him the Oscar for Best Director, Schindler's List, and Saving Private Ryan, and other great movies like Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can, War Horse, The Adventures of Tintin, Bridge of Spies. Along with the variety of genres he's done, action, sci-fi, horror, drama, history, war, animation, and now we are going to add musical to that. Regardless if Spielberg was going to direct this, when I heard he was going to be remaking West Side Story, I was skeptical. It's been a while since I've seen the original West Side Story, and after watching this movie, I did want to rewatch that original film. And Spielberg is certainly no stranger to remakes, since I did enjoy his 2005 remake of War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. The original is a great and beloved musical that won 10 Academy Awards in 1962, including Best Picture. And I was also hearing that he wanted to adapt the 1957 stage musical rather than just remake the 1961 film. And when the trailers came out, I thought they were pretty good, and they did give me hope for this remake. And it was one of my most anticipated films for the latter half of 2021. And I did see West Side Story in theaters. It was a couple of days after I saw Spider-Man No Way Home. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do a review due to a busy schedule, but since weeks ago it was recently streaming on Disney+, it came out on Blu-ray, and it's won the Best Picture nominees. I've decided to give this movie review, and what are my thoughts on West Side Story 2021? And my thoughts? I thought this was a really good remake, and I left this movie satisfied. Let's start with the pros. For his musical debut, Spielberg did an absolutely fantastic job behind the camera. The sets and the costumes are absolutely terrific and on point. He does such great camera work with the movements and uses some long takes. And the cinematography in this movie is absolutely beautiful. So much color and energy, the lighting, it's just all beautifully done. The musical numbers in this movie are incredible. They are so exciting, well sung, and well executed. Spielberg really lets you admire the craftsmanship put into the musical numbers, and hats off to everyone involved in this movie. And the dance choreography in this movie is just phenomenal. It is just so quick and exciting to watch. You can really tell there was so much work and skill put into it, and it's just incredible to see. Two musical numbers I can think of, America and the dance at the gym, those two are the highlights. The cast of this movie is great. For the most part, I'll get to that later. I want to start with Rachel Zegler as Maria. This is her debut role, and she is amazing in this movie. She's got a lot of charm, she's really talented, both with singing and acting. Watching her performance in this movie, I can definitely tell she has a bright future ahead of her. And she's going to be in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, can't wait to see her in that. Although I'm not sure about the idea of a Disney live-action remake of Snow White, I heard she is going to be playing the lead role of Snow White next year, and I am looking forward to seeing her in that. And to the supporting cast, someone I really liked was Mike Faist as Riff. I thought he had a lot of great screen presence and charisma, along with him doing an excellent job with singing and dancing. This is my first time noticing this actor, and I would certainly like to see him in more movies. But the person who just absolutely steals the show in this movie is definitely Ariana DeBose as Anita. All I can say is, what a breakthrough role from her. Musically, she did a terrific job singing and dancing. She has a lot of energy and charisma. But her moments in the third act, during the emotional scenes, her acting in those moments in the third act was just absolutely incredible. And she is right now the frontrunner to win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. And all I have to say is, she is my pick, will and should. Give her the Best Supporting Actress Oscar already. And even with other nominees, Kirsten Dunst was excellent in The Power of the Dog, Anjanou Ellis was great in King Richard, Judi Dench was good in Belfast. I don't know if I'd say she was nomination worthy. Personally, I preferred Katrina Balfe in Belfast, who should have been nominated in Best Supporting Actress, but somehow wasn't. But nevertheless, DeBose has this award in the bag. She was phenomenal in this movie. And I also want to mention Rita Moreno, who played Anita in the original film, and she plays a different role in this movie, Valentina, and I thought she gave a great performance, both as a nod to the original film, but also as a great mentor figure to Tony. One of my favorite parts of the film was the intense rivalry between the Jets and the Sharks. Just from the opening, you can tell why they don't get along, and there's a lot of tension between those two gangs, and just any scene with them I thought was the most riveting. And I also admire that Spielberg didn't try to go for a shot-for-shot, beat-for-beat remake of the original film, and he did some interesting song changes that I thought worked for the film. One, in the original, Cool was sung after the fight, and here, Cool is sung before the fight. Tony tries to talk to Riff about the fight. This is a change that I was okay with since I felt like that added more tension before that fight. And also, one song, I Feel Pretty, in the original it was before the fight, but in this film it is right after the battle. At first I was a little confused by that placement, but it did start to grow on me a bit. It was a good musical number, but it also gave me this feeling of dread of knowing what's going to happen after that. Unfortunately, I do have some issues with this movie. I will get to those right now. First, while there are many great performances in the cast, Ansel Elgort is sadly the weakest link of the cast as Tony, and I'm not sure if he was the right actor for Tony in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to address the accusations against Ansel Elgort. I don't really want to focus on that. I just want to focus on his performance in the movie. Just going to separate the art from the artist. How did he do in this movie? I wouldn't say he gave an awful performance, just more inconsistent performance to me. Now, I actually think he's been great in other movies like The Fault in Our Stars and Baby Driver, but with his scenes acting and singing, it felt hit and miss. In both his singing and acting scenes, there are some moments where I'm like, Ansel is doing a good job, but then there are other times where it's like, it's not really working for me. And next, the central romance between Tony and Maria sadly didn't have that emotional spark that I was hoping for. I didn't really feel like there was enough chemistry between Ansel Elgort and Rachel Zegler to really make me fully care about their romance. And when Tony and Maria first met and fall in love, it was just rushed, where I just felt like, oh, they're suddenly in love now. Okay. And lastly, this movie is 2 hours and 36 minutes long, and boy, is this a long movie. There were definitely moments in the second and third act where I really did feel the length of this movie, and I do feel like part of that runtime could have been trimmed. In conclusion, I thought West Side Story 2021 was a really good film. Spielberg did a great job making it his first musical and making this version of West Side Story his own. Great performances from the cast and incredible musical numbers with phenomenal filmmaking. Would this be in my top 10 favorite Steven Spielberg movies? I don't think so. And it is kind of hard for me to do a top 5 or top 10 Spielberg film since he's made so many great movies. And I am happy with the 7 Oscar nominations this movie has received at this year's Oscars. What I think it's going to win, Best Supporting Actress for Ariana DeBose, definitely. Maybe costume design, but we'll see. Does this have a chance of winning Best Picture? It did win the Golden Globe for Best Comedy Musical. I don't think it's going to win Best Picture. I heard it's going to be a race between Power the Dog and Coda, but we'll see what wins Best Picture this Sunday. And if you haven't seen West Side Story yet, and if you've been interested in watching it, either if you haven't seen the original film, or if you're a fan of the original and curious to see Spielberg's remake of this, it is streaming on Disney Plus and out on Blu-ray, so either way you have access to it, I do recommend checking out West Side Story 2021. And now to grade it, I am going to give West Side Story 2021 4 stars out of 5, a B+. With this movie, Tick Tick Boom, In the Heights, Encanto, Vivo, 2021 was a pretty good year for musicals, surprisingly. And it's unbelievable to me that it has taken this long for Spielberg to direct a musical, and I'll be happy if he gets to direct another musical in the future. So a question I would like to ask you guys, what did you think of West Side Story 2021? Did you agree? Disagree with me? Let me know below. Or if you haven't seen the film, what are your expectations for the film? I'm curious to hear. And if you enjoyed my review, I'd happily appreciate it if you hit that like button, and also hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell for my next upload. It really means a lot. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.